Well, hello there folks, and welcome to yet another episode here on the Shamblecraft server. It is the third episode of Season 2, and you join me here on the little bridge covering the Death Hole. And as you can see behind me, the lava farm is looking completely normal as it always has. But yes, first of all, Merry Christmas. It is today Christmas Day, and I know what you're thinking. Phali, if it's Christmas Day, why are you playing Minecraft? Well, in Norway, we don't celebrate Christmas Day, we celebrate Christmas Eve. But before we do anything, I have received news that Sammy has actually left everyone a Christmas present. One for me, one for Kay, and one for NJ. So why don't we see what Sammy has given us? Oh, Lee. Whoa. Mending for 2 mending books. Holy smokes. Thank you very, very much, Sammy. This is an amazing gift. Wow. Sammy has really been churning away with the mining and the crafting, and I mean, it's awesome that Sammy wants to share that with us. So thank you very much for your present, Sammy. But yes, also, just to give you an update, the iron farm has been churning away. It's now been a day and a half since I last recorded, and I've spent a good bit of time AFKing. And as you can see, we're not exactly short on iron. In fact, I think what we're going to do, we're going to make some more blocks here so we can compress it even more. So adding that, and then we can do that. There we go. That should do it. Right, it's not perfect, but it's what it is. So, as you can see, we are really getting a bunch of iron here, which is very good news, because it means we now basically have an unlimited supply of iron tools, iron armor, etc. I mean, we don't have diamond yet, but I think that will improve once we start heading into the caves to do some mining. However, there is one thing that we are currently missing that I thought would make for a good sort of Christmas present for the server. And that is, we do not yet have a public enchanting setup. There is one enchanting setup in what's called the Pathfinders Guild, but there is none at spawn that is usable for everyone. So what I have done, as you can probably tell here, I have gathered up a whole bunch of materials, and the plan is to use all of these materials to head over to spawn and make a public enchanting station. So before we do anything else today, why don't we head over to spawn and build a nice little holiday surprise for the Shamblecraft players. And as we enter the nether, I think they're trying to tell us something. But yeah, making our way through the tunnel here. One thing we also need to do, we need to improve our nether setup here, because as you can probably tell, from the amount of patchwork here, this tunnel hasn't exactly been the safest. In fact, I have been killed by either hoglins or ghasts like at least 7 times going in and out of the nether. But we are technically on the wrong axis. That was the south axis, and we should be on the east axis. So one thing we do need to do, we need to make a new set of, well, a new tunnel. But first of all, whoa. So as you can see, spawn has changed a bit. Kiwi Slate Shack. There's some shops popping in here and there. There's even a beacon, as you can see from my speed. We have a pop-up bookshop. Free stuff now in basement. You have a nice little, whatchamacallit here. Ooh, here's some free starter stuff. And here someone has actually started building something. That is very cool. We are definitely going to have to go back to spawn at some point and showcase that. But yeah, as you can probably tell, spawn this year is quite different from previously, because right now this year rather, or this season, we have decided that we want to make Spawn one sort of big sprawling overworld community district. And one thing that is different then from last year is that last year we sort of had one shopping district and then we had a separate district for other things. And this year we are basically just going to have one big sprawling district for all of it. So if I press the map, sadly my map is a bit balked with the plot world, but basically everything within a 400 block radius of Spawn is going to be a community area, meaning that we have a lot of space for community builds, which should mean that we get a sort of much more lively area than what we've seen so far. And over here we have some different pathways, and I'm thinking right here, if there's not already anything here, I'm thinking maybe, is it a bit far away? I'm thinking that since the bookshop is there, apologies if I'm sniffly, but it's 10 degrees below zero here. Notice board, and here's some nice trees. Maybe right here? Like right here would be a good spot. I'm thinking that it needs to be very easily found and publicly available. So I'm thinking maybe right here. Like right here on this little flat bit here. If we just clear away this layer of dirt and we remove these trees and we can make some stairs up there, that we can have a little community enchanting hut right here. Yeah, you know what? I think that's going to be it. I think this is going to be a good location. So why don't we cut to a really quick time lapse of me smashing this thing up, and we'll see how it turns out. And there you have it, a nice little community enchanting hut. Community enchanting hut, Merry Christmas from Sammy, NJK and Phali. And here you will now find an enchanting table that goes all the way up to level 30. Left 2 anvils, there's a chest here with some lapis in it. And hopefully people will donate lapis, and I will also try my best to keep this resupplied with anvils. And this is a slot where you can put an ender chest eventually. And yeah, there are crafting tables hidden underneath. So yeah, that means people can now basically go get their stuff enchanted. I'm not going to bother yet because I don't have the levels and my inventory is full. But later today, I'm probably going to head over here with my iron tools and see if I can get my gear enchanted a bit. But before that, I actually do need to get some levels. But that is the community enchanting hut. So when you leave the spawn portal, you will see it on your right as you exit. Same direction as the Pathfinders Guild, which is also something we're going to have to come back to at some point. But if you want to learn more about the Pathfinders Guild, I actually suggest that you take a look at Jessie's episode. Jessie put up her first episode a couple of days ago, and that one features the Pathfinders Guild quite heavily, so make sure you check that out if you want to learn more about the Pathfinders Guild. But yeah, that is some good deeds for Christmas taken care of. Nice little enchanting place that people can use. It is, of course, free to use. The lapis there is free to take, so people can now go get their stuff enchanted. But with that taken care of, it is time that we head back to our base and move on with some of our own projects. And the first project we're going to be having a look at is where we want to settle. Now, that nice little segue there might fool you into believing that this was a very sort of clean movement from just me moving from the spawn island and back over here, but no! In fact, it's been 2 days, and Vin has been here with a Norwegian flag and has changed the C major to an F sharp sus4. Beautiful. But anyway, we need to move over to our new settlement. And, well, let me first acknowledge what was in my inventory there. As you can probably tell, I did some mining off camera. And I've looked through most of it, and I've just sort of kept the valuables because I want to bring these with me. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Phali, aren't you going to share all of the valuable loot and stuff? And I mean, yes, I did that to begin with, but at this point we've sort of reached the point where we need actually to get started on gathering supplies for what we want to do. And in fact, I've been doing some tinkering off camera to get a good start. So riding south, you will see that there's some doors over there that says Sami on them. And that is, well, what Sami has described as the safe route. I'm not a fan of the safe routes, so what I have done is I've made a cute little pier here, and if you were expecting a time-lapse, I'm sorry, I was doing this on my laptop, and I didn't realise I didn't have replay mod on there. So I've made a little path, I've put up some cute little light fixtures, I've made a little campfire, made a chest where most of the other stuff from my mining went, and there's an edge. There's a cliff, if you want, that leads us straight into water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is actually where we are going to be settling. You see, me and Sami have decided that we sort of have the same idea for how we want to do the bases this year. So what we have done is that we have found a pretty cool little cave system that we're going to use as our base of operations. And, I mean, I think what I can basically just do is show you how it looks. So if we jump down here, we find ourselves down here in the topmost area of what can only be described as a massive, lush cave. Now, I've been very fortunate. Sami, thank you very much, Sami, has been doing some lighting of this place on stream and during the night time. Sami, of course, living on the west coast of America while I live in Europe means that we sadly don't get to play together that often, but we did manage to have a chat this morning about this place, and also Sami has been, as I said, doing a lot of lighting off camera. And not only is this a lush cave that presents a lot of space for us, but it has brought us a 1, 2, I'm not going to bother going to the other one, but if you continue that way, 3 spawners. A zombie spawner, a skeleton spawner, and a cave spider spawner. And that is, well, good news for us, because it means we get to set up a mob farm. But for us, to begin with, we're going to be focusing our attention on 2 spots. This area right here, which is going to be a sort of landing area, and this area here that we're going to use to set up sort of like the very first basic base of operations. So basically this little shelf here leading all the way over here pretty much. Well, I might not go all that way. I might stop here at this pillar. But this sort of section here is sort of going to be a nice little main area where we're going to have our beds, we're going to have a crafting station, and the plan is that me and Sammy are going to be using this cave system sort of as our base. And if I go over to the edge here, you will see that this cave leads down into another one. And if I keep going, you probably can't see it from here, but yeah, if I keep going, this cave also leads even further down. In fact, this cave system, might be able to see it from over here. This cave system is actually quite massive. Yeah, you can see that it leads further down. And the plan here is that we sort of want to use the different levels for different things. But one thing we have settled on is that we want the bottom sort of cave space down there to work as our storage system. So that's something that I'm going to have to get back to sooner or later. But for me, first and foremost, it's going to be about this little area here. So what I want to do, I want to make a topside build, and that's probably going to be the focus for the rest of this episode. I want to build a topside build that sort of functions as, dare I say, a starter base. I don't really consider, I mean, this is going to be a series where I basically have two starter bases. There's going to be, the community starter base. What is this Apple Watch? People who have Apple Watches, how do you get them to shut up? I've turned off the listen to, I can't even say those words. The Apple Watch is annoying me. Anyway, the main focus of this episode is probably going to be what's up there topside, where we construct our starter base. And as I was saying, we basically going to have to end up with two starter bases in this series. The community starter base that we share with Kate, Sammy and NJ, and this sort of topside starter base up there that's going to be more ours. And that's going to be somewhat away from Sammy. Sammy is going to be on the same sort of island that you can see on the map in the top left corner, but Sammy is going to be on the eastern half of it, while I'm going to be on the western half. But yeah, that is basically the plans. The issue right now is that, getting back up is actually a bit of work, but I mean, you're just going to have to deal with it, I guess. So, place that back, head up the stairs, and I mean, yeah, you see where this is going. Why don't we roll a time-lapse of us building... Ugh. Hello. Why don't we run a time-lapse of my face? There we go. Why don't we run a time-lapse of me building up a nice little starter house? And just like that, peeps, we have ourselves a nice little starter base. So, quick tour, because let's be fair, it's not that much to see. We have a nice little crop field that is mostly for decoration, but of course very practical to have it as a source of some food. So I've started putting some seeds in here, and we have some wheat, and I'm going to put potatoes and carrots in these two. I just haven't gotten around to doing so. We have this little well here that of course hides the entrance to downstairs, so that's something that we're going to be getting back to later. And then we have this nice little log cabin with a nice little workstation, crafting bench, some beds. I should probably make sure that I have my spawn set, and I do. Put an anvil here, and we have some storage with the materials left over, including all the materials that we got from our mining session. So yeah, with that we pretty much have a decent little starter base set up. Nothing big, nothing fancy, but something nice and cute that does the trick for now. And next time we have several projects to take care of. We need to delve down in here to look at the caves that we're going to be settling in, but also we need to improve our kit, because as you can tell at the bottom of the screen, we're still on unenchanted iron stuff. We have some enchanted iron armor, but we really need to improve our setup. And thankfully, I don't have that here. I left that at the communal base. We were gifted a set of diamond armor by Johnny, so thank you very much, Johnny. And Johnny also let us use his farm to get some levels and get some enchants done. But what I do know is that Sammy has been working on some farms on her streams downstairs, so that is something that we're going to have to take a look at next time. But for now, that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Thank you so much, I have to say, for the amazing support on the first 2 episodes. As of right now, both of the first 2 episodes have more than 60 views, which just blows me away. So thank you so much for your amazing support. And it's not something I say very often, but why not? If you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing, sharing the video with a friend. I had one goal this year, and that was to double my YouTube subscribers, which I have actually managed to do. We've gone from 131 subs to 269 subs as of right now. And I think for 2022, one of my goals is actually going to be, can we manage to hit 1,000 subscribers within 2022? It's a big goal, I know, but I mean, I want to see, can we pull it off? Can we get to 1,000 subs by the end of 2022? But that is gonna be it for this episode. Belated Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year from me. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye bye!